Welcome to the Musings of Jessica Marie. Fisher Island, Florida is one of the most luxurious and private places to live. It boasts sprawling mansions, beautiful blue water, and is only accessible by private boat, helicopter, or ferry. While it is now a secluded playground for celebrities and rich people, it started out as a venture to improve the lives of Black Americans in Miami. Join me as we shine a historical spotlight on the famous picturesque island that was originally meant to be a resort for Black Americans. Dana Albert Dorsey, DA for short, was born in Quitman, Georgia in 1872. He was the son of former slaves and was the first child in his family who wasn't born into slavery. He received only a fourth grade education, but took it upon himself to be a lifelong student. He found much success as a businessman, banker, and philanthropist, and eventually became one of the first Black American millionaires in Florida. In 1896, he decided to move to Miami at the age of 24. After seeing a need to provide housing for Black railroad workers, he purchased and started developing land in Overtown, an area just northwest of downtown Miami, formerly known as Colored Town during the Jim Crow era. Over time, the predominantly Black neighborhood expanded as far north as Fort Lauderdale. In 1905, Government Cut, a man-made shipping channel, was created to allow better access to the Port of Miami, effectively separating Fisher Island from Miami Beach. In 1918, DA purchased 21 acres on the island to create the first Black beach in the county after Black people in Miami weren't allowed to swim in salt water. A ferry was used to take Black locals and tourists back and forth. DA wanted to build a Black resort on the island, but similar to other Black pioneers throughout history, discrimination stood in his way of progress and stopped his dreams from coming true. Many of the decision makers and power holders at the time didn't like his idea of creating a space just for Black Americans and tried to block his efforts every step of the way. As DA developed more and more houses and completed work as a carpenter, he acquired vast wealth and land in the process. At the time, Black Americans were paid for their work with land instead of cash, which was hard to come by. Much of South Florida that we know now was originally owned by Black Americans who either weren't fairly paid for the sale of their property or who lost it because of eminent domain. In 1919, DA was forced to sell Fisher Island to Carl G. Fisher, a wealthy land developer and automotive pioneer who was developing Miami Beach due to the Great Depression. Carl wanted to turn the island into a 300-acre deep-water seaport to serve cruise ships. He ultimately spent close to $5 million before abandoning the project. Ownership transferred hands again in 1925 when William K. Vanderbilt II traded a luxury yacht for the island. William built a private Mediterranean-style mansion for $1.5 million to serve as a winter retreat for his family. Under the Vanderbilts, Fisher Island grew to include multiple guest homes, an airplane hangar, tennis court, boathouse, and even servants' quarters for their enjoyment and privacy. The famous mansion still stands today as a central landmark. While there were quite a number of owners after that, for over 15 years the island remained a small secluded retreat up until the 1980s when further development was finally started. Fisher Island Club was opened in 1987 and many of the homes and buildings were constructed to match the original 1920s Spanish-style mansions. A massive $60 million renovation to restore and update the island's historic Vanderbilt mansion, add new hotel accommodations, and improve the golf course, tennis center, beach club, private marinas, and spa began in 2007. Fast forward to today, and the island still remains somewhat inaccessible to the public and unwanted guests. As of the 2020 census, there are only 561 full-time residents on Fisher Island. Despite the low population, it has the highest per capita income and represents the wealthiest zip code of any place in the United States. Real estate prices range from $2 million to $40 million, and it was reported that the average income in 2015 was $2.5 million. As a way to secure its exclusivity, the island attempted to incorporate as a town in 2005, but the Miami-Dade County Commission denied it. Despite being part of the Miami metropolitan area, residents are more than happy with the amenities, proximity, and privacy the island provides. Fisher Island is considered one of, if not the most, exclusive places to live. DA had grand hopes of turning it into a luxurious place for Black Americans to enjoy, but was ultimately sabotaged and deterred by discrimination. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and subscribing to my channel. I'll see you in the next episode. Signed, Jessica Marie.